Hello there, you're watching a re-uploaded video because the original one got copyright striked by WWE. I mean, this channel is not even monetized yet, but they straight up took down the video. So I have decided to replace all the WWE related footage with my own artistic rendering and Japanese sumo wrestling videos because at least that is a real sport. And yes, I'm petty like that. So I hope you enjoy this video, and WWE, you can go suck my... So recently, I've been playing a little bit of Battlefield 6. Don't touch grass now! Which may have a small impact on my upload schedule. And my New Year resolution is to make more videos. Anyways, the game is not perfect in any stretch of the imagination, but personally, I had a great time sweating my balls off and playing the game with my friends. And one thing I think we can all enjoy about the Battlefield franchise is the references or Easter eggs. And Battlefield 6 is no exception. I'm sure you have seen a couple of them already. And this time, there is a surprisingly high number of references even outside of the game itself. Of course, I'm talking about the achievements. I'm sure a lot of you have played this game already and unlocked the achievement Wrench Monkey, which requires you to repair 2042 damage on vehicles in multiplayer. This is the most obvious reference to Battlefield 2042, the predecessor of Battlefield 6. But what about the other achievements that require you to perform a specific number of actions in-game? And what's up with those seemingly random achievement titles? And very quickly, I want to give credit to Hanser who wrote this excellent achievement guide. I will be following the order of the achievements as they appear in his guide because they are already nicely organized and categorized. He even mentioned some of the references inside his guide, and it's just a really good resource if you want to learn how to unlock them. I'll be linking it in the description. To kick things off, let's talk about campaign achievements. Most of these are pretty straightforward with no hidden references. For example, completing certain campaign missions will give you corresponding achievements related to the mission's theme. And as you collect more collectibles, you'll gradually unlock more of these canine-themed achievements that shows your ability to seek out hidden items throughout the campaign. You'll move from Dogs of War to Pack Leader as you collect more items. While it's fun to see these leveling up style achievements, they are largely self-explanatory and don't carry deeper meanings. What is interesting is the return of a pretty old Battlefield Easter egg, mainly from Battlefield 3. In the first mission, right after you gain control of your character, if you turn around and pick up this dinosaur figurine, which is a common hidden item in Battlefield 3 maps and also appeared in Battlefield 3 campaign, you will unlock the achievement End of an Era. The asteroid icon indicates the extinction of dinosaurs at the end of the Mesozoic era. But it may also be paying tribute to the end of Battlefield 3, which many people now look back and see as the game that redefined the franchise's modern identity. I know Bad Company 2 is fire, but it doesn't have great air combat, only helicopters, so apologies to anyone who misses the tracer dot guided RPGs. Now it's time to talk about the fun part, multiplayer achievements. These are absolutely packed with references. To begin, there are 3 rank level related achievements that refers to previous Battlefield story characters. So there will be minor spoilers for Battlefield 3 and the Bad Company series. You can skip to this timestamp if you want to avoid them. When you reach rank 9, you unlock Private First Class Montes. This refers to Dave Montes, a squad mate of the protagonist Henry Blackburn who stays with you until the very last mission in Battlefield 3. Montes eventually sacrificed himself so you can get your final revenge in the story. At rank 14, you unlock Lance Corporal McCulloch. Christian McCulloch is another member of your squad in Battlefield 3, who was killed alongside Sergeant Steve Campbell during a Russian Su-25 Frogfoot attack in the mission Rock and the Hard Place. At rank 25, you unlock Sergeant Redford. Samuel D. Redford, commonly referred to as Sarge, is the squad leader in Battlefield Bad Company and Bad Company 2. The running gag with this character is that Redford can never retire. Even though he's tired of his service and had multiple opportunities to retire, potentially into a quiet countryside life, something always delays it throughout both games. This fits perfectly with the sarcastic and humorous tone of the Bad Company series. The next multiplayer achievement is Command and Conquest 2. The title is referencing one of my favorite game franchises growing up. Command & Conquer, which is a beloved real-time strategy game series butchered by EA among the list of many EA-acquired games that's now in limbo. This achievement is actually a follow-up to the Command & Conquest achievement in Battlefield 2042, hence the number 2 in the title. Similar to the original achievement, players must capture objectives in Conquest mode. The requirement was 100 captures in 2042 and 128 captures in Battlefield 6. The 128 captures requirement is probably another reference to Battlefield 2042, as that's the only game in the franchise that support up to 128 players in one match. Moving next, we have Frontline, which requires players to take or defend 41 sectors in Breakthrough. The choice of the number 41 is interesting, as it differs from the nice round numbers like 50 or 100 in previous games. So this suggests it's referencing something specific. I searched extensively across media, literature, and online resources in general, but couldn't find a direct connection between the word Frontline and the number 41. That's when I remembered that the primary studio behind Battlefield 6, DICE, is Swedish, with developers from diverse linguistic and cultural backgrounds. So I began to look into whether Frontline and number 41 has any connection in other languages. And in my personal opinion, which could be wrong, I think I found a connection. A little bit of context first. Finland is officially bilingual. They use both Finnish and Swedish. And there is a 2004 Finnish film titled Beyond the Frontline in both languages. The film is about Swedish-speaking Finnish soldiers during the Continuation War, which began with Finland's declaration of war against the Soviet Union in June 1941. Additionally, the Continuation War service medal features a bayonet motif similar to the achievement's icon. So this could potentially be a film reference, but if you know there's a better connection existing somewhere else, please do let me know in the comments. Next up is Super Bomberman. Arm or disarm 5 MCOMs explosive in a multiplayer match. This is probably a reference to Super Bomberman, a fun game where you place bombs in a maze-like map to blow things up, which is loosely the same idea as Rush mode in Battlefield, where the attacker's goal is to plant bombs and progress further in the territories. Next one is 5x5, and you get it by getting 5 multi-kills as assault in multiplayer. This one is quite simple. 5x5 originally refers to a radio signal quality report often used in military and other radio operations, where 5x5 means the signal is as strong and as clear as possible. It is also a tactical military-style way of saying affirmative.
You maxed out your credit card buying night vision goggles,
which Viper from Titanfall 2 uses too much of.
Viper's got you in the pipe. 5x5.
Wrench Monkey, which we already mentioned at the beginning, is obviously a reference to the previous game. And obviously, you're into the same topic as I am if you watched this far into the video. So please consider gently massaging the subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. The next one is quite interesting.
Stoles der Nation.
Yes, you did not set your Steam language wrong. This achievement is the title of the fictional Nazi propaganda film meaning Nation's Pride that's in the real 2009 film Inglourious Basterds. The fictional film depicts German sniper Friedrich Zoller single-handedly killing 250 Allied soldiers from a church tower in Sicily. This reference is directly mentioned in Hunser's achievement guide as well. And yes, the required 250 sniper kills is directly referencing the fictional character's kill count inside of this fictional film. Next one is A Joyful Nurse, which requires reviving 1,996 players as support in multiplayer. In Hunser's achievement guide, he believed this refers to 1996 being the year Pokemon Green and Red was released, introducing Nurse Joy. I still believe his theory is correct as I couldn't find any better possible connections, but I do want to point out, even though Nurse or Pokemon Center Lady did appear in the Red and Green Pokemon games, the character has very different appearance and was not named. The Nurse Joy character is introduced a year later in the second episode of the Pokemon animated series in 1997. So technically, the first introduction of Nurse Joy was actually in 1997. But again, I couldn't find a better reference, so I believe this is still a reference to Nurse Joy. Okay, the next achievement is what I spent the most time researching for this video. Medal of Honor, which requires you to commit 414 acts of valor in multiplayer. Well, the achievement name can obviously be a reference to the Medal of Honor game series, which is now the IP owned by EA, and one of the development studios behind Battlefield 6 actually has a lot of involvement with this franchise. Ripple Effect was previously DICE LA, which is previously Danger Close Games, which made poorly received Medal of Honor Warfighter and Medal of Honor 2010. And if we go even further back, they were previously known as EA Los Angeles, which is the studio behind many early 2000s Medal of Honor titles, such as Medal of Honor Airborne, European Assault, and Rising Sun. And if we go all the way back to the prehistorical time of the late 90s, they were a part of the Los Angeles studio of DreamWorks Interactive, which is a joint venture between DreamWorks SKG, aka DreamWorks Pictures, and Microsoft. And they were the creator of the original Medal of Honor game in 1995. I don't think there are anyone left from the original DreamWorks Interactive team who's on the current Battlefield 6 development team, but the studio does have a history that's tied to Medal of Honor. And it's fun to think about the fact that Saving Private Ryan and Medal of Honor, the original game, was technically both released by DreamWorks. But unfortunately for DreamWorks and everyone else, the company lost interest in the gaming industry and EA acquired DreamWorks Interactive in the year 2000, which is before the release of Shrek, so we never got to see the Medal of Honor Shrek DLC we all deserved. And very unfortunate for you who's waiting for this random history license to be over so you can find out what's the importance of number 414 in this achievement, I got nothing. Like seriously, I spent days of my free time trying to figure out what's the special meaning behind this angel number, which I literally just learned is a thing. Angel numbers are some kind of psychotic beliefs that the number carries spiritual significance and message from the universe or apparently higher power. You know it's bad when there's a WikiHow article about it. And no, I don't think this is a reference to the angel number, so I did dive deeper. Firstly, 414 could mean April 14th. There is a World War II soldier named John D. McGrath who received the Medal of Honor for heroic actions in Italy on April 14, 1945. It was a posthumous award that is granted after the recipient has died. On the same day, Wilbur K. Ross also received the Medal of Honor. Additionally, the US Air Force designed Medal of Honor was created on April 14, 1965. There are many military units with the designation 414, such as the US Army's 414th Infantry Regiment in World War II. But none of them have a strong connection to the Medal of Honor or Acts of Valor as described in the achievement. There are far more than 414 Medal of Honor recipients too, and not a single conflict has the recipient count match that exact number. Also, I couldn't find any connection between the number and Battlefield or the Medal of Honor franchise. I even looked into AIA because 414 resembles it, and I still found nothing. So I genuinely don't know what's special about this number for this achievement. It might just be an internal developer reference, and if you have any ideas, please do let us know in the comments. The next achievement is 1200, which requires you to get 6 sidearm headshot kills in one multiplayer match. 1200 is 12 o'clock on a digital clock, also known as high noon. 6 sidearm headshots reference 6 shooters, and even the achievement icon looks like the classic skull and revolver's logo. The next one is Road Rash, which requires you to get a roadkill with a vehicle in multiplayer. While this looks simple and straightforward, it's likely another reference to an EA game, Road Rash. The original Road Rash was released in 1991 and was extremely important to EA. Before Road Rash, EA was primarily known as a publisher, not a developer. Well, it was by no means the first in-house developed game by EA. That would be Hardhat Mac in 1983. However, Road Rash was the first EA developed title that truly mattered at scale. It was not only an in-house development that sold well and was well received, but also an indicator that EA can own its studios and produce lucrative sequels. While this is extremely common practice today, back then not many publishers have their own developer studios, and the few noticeable players in the market who own studios and publish games are doing that because they own their own platform and want to control the quality of their exclusive games for it. Examples being Sega and Nintendo. So it was quite innovative in the early 90s for a platform independent publisher like EA to adapt to this business model, all thanks to the original Road Rash. A little C4 knocking on your door, deal 2000 damage to enemy vehicles with the demolition charge. This achievement is another reference to the EA game franchise Command & Conquer, specifically Command & Conquer Red Alert 2, where you can unlock this kind of hidden unit called Chrono Commando by playing as an allied faction against another allied faction and use the spy unit to infiltrate the enemy's battle lab. When you try to produce this unit in-game, you will say the title of this achievement as its spawning voice line.
Unit ready. Training.
C4 knocking at your door.
Apparently, this is referenced in Insurgency as well.
Alright, C4 knocking at your door.
Next up is First Blood 2. Perform 10 takedowns in a multiplayer match. Also, the title is a clear reference to Rambo First Blood Part 2. I'm not sure if the 10 takedowns requirement is a reference to the movie's takedown kill count or not. Depends on how you count it, the number can be different if you count the throwing knife kill at the beginning and throwing someone off a helicopter as takedowns. There are about 10 takedowns in the movie. Next one is Punished, which requires getting 129 kills in multiplayers. This is a reference to Marvel's The Punisher in the comics, who first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man 129, hence the 129 kills requirement. In the next section, we'll be going through the free Battlefield 6 experience Red Sacks achievements. The first one is May the odds forever be in your favor. Play 74 matches in any version of Battle Royale. This is a reference to probably the most famous Battle Royale themed novel and film series, The Hunger Games, which story begins with the 74th Hunger Games, hence the 74 match requirements to complete this achievement. And the title is a parody of the iconic line from The Hunger Games,
"And may the odds be ever in your favor."
Next up is a reference to another EA game, Apex Legends. When you deploy a total of 42 call-ins in the Red Sacks Battle Royale mode, you'll unlock the achievement "Here's your birthday present." This phrase is an iconic line of Lifeline, a legend in Apex Legends whose original ability was to call in a care package.
Here's your birthday present.
But this was later changed to a different shield ability in October 2024 for Season 23. The number 42, as Hunter pointed out in this achievement guide, is probably a reference of the recurring number 42 that's in multiple Battlefield entries with a year being a part of its title, including the very first Battlefield game, Battlefield 1942. Stone Cold. Stun enemies 316 times in Battle Royale or Gauntlet. This is a reference to Stone Cold Steve Austin, a now retired WWE professional wrestler and media personality. One of the most iconic moments which led to Austin's WWE superstar status is his famous Austin 316 speech at the 1996 King of the Ring, where he mocked his defeated opponent Jake Roberts, whose on-screen persona at the time was a born-again Christian who frequently quoted Bible verses. And Austin decided to create his own Bible verse-style quote to mock Jake.
Austin 316 said I just whipped your ass.
And this is where the stun enemies 316 times requirement came from. The next achievement is another classic arcade game reference, Rise from Your Grave. Revive teammates 1988 times in Battle Royale or Gauntlet. The 1988 requirement is a reference to Altered Beast, a video game released in 1988. And the title is the iconic voice line that plays at the beginning of the game, where the player is revived from death by the god Zeus.
Rise from your grave.
The next achievement is, you guessed it, a reference to another EA game, Army of Two. Win 7 matches in Battle Royale duels. The title is referencing the third-person shooter video game developed by EA Montreal, Army of Two. And you can probably guess it from the game's title, it is a 2-player co-op game, which is also why to unlock this achievement you need to play in the duo mode in Battle Royale. The requirement to win 7 matches is a little bit generic. From what I can find, I think this may be a reference to the first game having 7 chapters including the tutorial. When you play 125 rounds of Gauntlet in Red Sack, you'll unlock the achievement Never Ending Game. This is a reference to the 1985 arcade game Gauntlet, which has 125 unique level layouts in total. The title of the achievement is referring to the never-ending nature of the game. After the first 7 levels, the game will start to randomly pick levels from its finite pool of level layouts while increasing the number on the level counter and the game's difficulty. But the game will not end until you die. And since the seemingly infinite arcade gameplay only has 125 unique levels, you only have to play 125 rounds to unlock this achievement. Everybody fights, nobody quits. Win a Battle Royale match as a full squad with total squad survival. This is a reference to the iconic quote from the 1997 movie Starship Troopers.
I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
The next achievement is Mission Accepted. Complete 214 missions in any version of Battle Royale. This is another ambiguous number reference. I could not find any special meaning behind the number 214 itself in the context of Battlefield or Battle Royale in general. This could be a reference to Battlefield 2142, as the background story of the game is in the 4th decade of the 22nd century, with events in the game going beyond the year 2142. 214 could also mean February 14, which is Valentine's Day, but I don't see it having a direct connection to the game or this achievement. I don't think the developer is mean enough to indicate your next mission is to find a girlfriend if you already played 214 missions, but who knows. Another achievement that has a rather vague number requirement is Dog of War. Collect 9 dog tags in Battle Royale or Gauntlet. This achievement is not the same as Dogs of War, which is the campaign achievement I talked about at the beginning of the video. This could be a reference to the Dogs of War, which is an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. However, the more likely connection is probably the K9 unit, a phonetic rendering of the word K9 that is commonly used to classify not just police dogs but also military working dogs, which, if you think about it, are dogs of war. The final achievement for this video is another Apex Legends reference. If you ping a shotgun in Battle Royale, you'll unlock the achievement Mozambique here. If you play Apex before, you definitely got this one.
Mozambique, yeah.
But for anyone who is wondering, the Mozambique shotgun was so bad in the early days of Apex Legends, people would ping it as a joke or just to annoy their teammates. And because of that, this iconic voice line is now a meme in the Apex Legends community and beyond.
What can I say except Mozambique?